Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Eden Town Hall. This is like the 15th or something like that. We've been discussing for about an hour and 10 minutes or so, all sorts of stuff related to Eden and Eden Fractal, next steps and initiatives and so forth. We wanted to record. We're planning to do more, more promotions for the shows and do videos and stuff like that in the future and invite more people. But we had kind of a small session that was just people coming together in the Eden Town Hall again. Felix's mic isn't working because he's on the road, so he's just listening. And also, Lenny's been mostly listening. We were speaking with Lenny a bit before, so it's mostly been CAC, Patrick, and myself talking about Eden Fractal initiatives lately and all of EOS. And yeah, some of the interesting discussions. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, we kept wanting to record. We kept getting into other interesting topics too. So there's so much that I encourage everybody to join these meetings so you can listen to the full thing, and in the future we'll record more. But yeah, we've been having good discussions about next steps for Eden Fractal, I suppose, and like the vision for Eden Fractal and how Eden Fractal will get things done and so forth. And then Patrick and CAC were both sharing a bunch of inspiring thoughts. I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to respond to CAC and Patrick, so I'll get to that. I'm looking forward to it. But first, I'll open it up to Patrick and CAC if you guys would like to say hello or introduce or say any words in the beginning here. Thanks everybody for joining. And yeah, how's it going, Patrick and CAC? Any thoughts?
I abstain.
All right.
Okay.
Nice and simple.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Chris, for your sharing. No, we have a great discussion until now. Much respect. And the main point is about Eden Fractal, how we want to continue this platform, this circle, this fractal, that we are already a fractal into the Fractally Genesis one, but we are also our own circle, and how we want to continue to lead this platform, this decentralized platform made of different people, so around the world, and how we want to give the respect to those people, and how also at the same time we want to grow our circle to have the best value and promote that in a good way. There is a video planned for October 23rd where I will have Eden Fractal update number 2 with Dancing Joy as a interviewee, and also Felix Ruiz, and that will be the Eden Fractal update number 2. At this time, we should have a better vision for Eden Fractal, and we were discussing also that there is not only one business model for Eden Fractal. There could be one to many business model, and we are identifying them, and we are trying to take the best, let's say, at the moment that we are deciding the better business model that we can use regarding the time, regarding the trend of the market, and we have to take a lot of things in consideration, the legal aspects also, that is not even really clear at the moment. So we have to take in consideration also what is this doing Fractally Genesis, because that's nice ingredients, food that we have to take in account. So very happy to iterate from there. And so then I give you the mic.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, well said. And I agree. Good summary. I suppose one thing that we could discuss that's related to your summary, and also a point that CAC was bringing up before we started recording, is how we get things done for the fractal. So CAC was previously saying some thoughts about, like, I suppose, valuing contributions to EOS and valuing contributions specifically Eden Fractal. And we talked about how, like, valuing contributions to EOS, we want to provide a welcoming environment where everybody in EOS who's doing good work can come and share what they're doing and collaborate and meet people and so forth and be respected for that. But at the same time, we also want to incentivize and reward contributions specifically to Eden Fractal and to help Eden Fractal grow. And to a large extent, like, that's happening already. And there's quite a lot of work that's being done for Eden Fractal just with the method of just meeting every week and distributing different amounts of respect according to how much people are doing. And there's a lot of exciting initiatives going on, but then at the same time too, like, there's so much more that can be done. And we can grow the community and have it where, people can join and learn easy ways to help Eden Fractal and so forth. The CAC mentioned something about how, like, I don't know, corporate structures can be helpful. I suppose being more organized. I don't know if you want to clarify any of these thoughts, Stacy, because I might be misinterpreting or misstating some of them. But, like, there is that general dynamic where when it's DAO, and especially in these early stages when we don't have the consensus process set up yet, like, there's not much of a process to be autonomous and self-governing because we don't have a governance process. But I think that we'll get that done this week. This week. There was, at the end of the meeting, there was 8 of 11 community members who were present who agreed to make a vote on some sort of process for next week. Working on and have been in communication with Tadas, and I'm planning to share kind of a refined version of the votes proposal before this Wednesday, as well as a roadmap for lots of different directions that I think will be for a direction for Eden Fractal, and lots of exciting ideas and initiatives I think will be really helpful for Eden and Eden Fractal and EOS. And then, once we get that process in place, then there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, we could potentially, like, make new tokens for developers or make new tokens for marketers, something like that. Like Chris was talking about, having a marketing branch and a developing branch and all these different ideas, specifically to help grow Eden Fractal. And I think it's a great idea. And so I'm excited to explore that. Like, what are the best ways that we can do, like, basically we have an Eden token, we have, a bunch of great contributors, and we're meeting every week, and we have this great system. What else can we add onto that now to further incentivize coordination, both for EOS as a whole, and then also for Eden Fractal in particular? So yeah, that's also some of the conversation we've been having so far, and I'd be interested to explore that further. I think it's an exciting topic. So if CC or Patrick have any thoughts about that, then I'd be interested to hear about it.
Yes, this may come off as kind of controversial, but I don't think the Eden Fractal is at a stage where we should be pursuing I guess you want to call it the mission of the Fractal, rewarding contributors to the broader EOS community. I think that's just a distraction at this point. I think we got to focus on building the, whatever term you want to use, platform, framework, protocols of the Fractal itself. We got to figure all that stuff out, and then we can move on to the broader mission, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. At the same time, I want also to be controversial with what you just stated, Chris. I think we have to do the things parallelly, because we have to be 360 degree when we are building this Eden Fractal. We have to take also at the same time we have to take in consideration the people that are joining the Eden Fractal, that they are always rewarded into EOS, Eden Respect, and NFTs. That's about the reward distribution. By the way, I just gave 1,000 EOS more for Eden Fractal. I gave that directly to the MSIG smart contract Eden Fractal. Why? Because it's about to distribute the funds, the rewards. I have also gave some funds to Jorge Ramos and Tadas Veitikunas for their participation in the core of the Eden Fractal, because they are very oriented in the core of the Eden Fractal with the governance aspect about the interim consensus proposal. And there are developers like Vlad, shout out to him, for this fantastic tool that we have currently to push the consensus on chain. When we are into the breakout room, we are pushing the result of our consensus. So that's very needed, that we have those breakout rooms and people sharing what they have done for the whole EOS ecosystem, and more and beyond, because that's very important to know what they are doing, to give them Eden Respect. That's the token that we have into Eden Fractal. And there is maybe a newcomer token, that's the votes token, with the proposal of Dan Sinjoy, the interim consensus one. That is a very good interim consensus proposal. There is also the interim consensus proposal of Tadas Veitikynas, by the way, that is also very interesting. So we have to take what is all the good elements of this proposal and have something that's an interim, by the way, that's not frozen in the stone. We will be able to iterate from there. And yeah, I agree with Chris on the point also that sure, we have to be committed on what we said last Wednesday on the Eden Fractal 13 UTC last Wednesday. We were just stating that we have to move on the next one. So this next Wednesday, 13 UTC, to take now the things in account. That's mean the things are the interim consensus proposal. Now we have enough written elements, material that we can take into account and iterate from there. So that's never frozen in the stone. That's very agile. Eden Fractal is very agile. We can pivot if something is not going as expected. We are different people into this Eden Fractal. There is not only some leaders on the top and the rest of the Eden Fractal on the bottom. We are all involved, and we are doing the things in parallel. That's great. That's never good to at my opinion, it's never good to wait that until we come to the fruition of something, because there will never an end. That's always in evolution. That's very dynamic, because EOS is dynamic. The EOS ecosystem is dynamic, totally dynamic, always new components. We have Fractally that is ongoing. There will be a new blockchain. We have to take in account different things, and we have to, it's like an échec game where we have to be very strategic. And I think there are different way to go with Eden Fractal, and we are just trying to figuring out how we can go forward. So I think the next Wednesday is very interesting. I hope a lot of people will join of the community. And there is this first part that is very interesting, is the breakout room, where the people are respected for their work into the community. That could be on the past week. That could be more than that since the beginning, all what they have done. So I think it's a good fractal and a nice way to do the things.
Yep, I agree. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, CAC, for all the great thoughts. Thanks, Patrick, for the very generous donation, and then also the beautiful song you were describing for us before. So I'd love, if maybe a little bit, you can describe the backstory again on the record for people, but really appreciate it, and I really love the song. And then also, I wanted to say, in response to CAC as well, I suppose, well, for one, I agree with what Patrick was saying. I think that we have to respect and reward both EOS contributions and Eden Fractal contributions in parallel, because, like, I think one of the best ways that Eden Fractal can grow is by being welcoming to people who join, who don't have time to help specifically Eden Fractal very much outside of just, joining the meetings and participating in discussions, but are doing great work in the EOS community. Like, for example, I mentioned Waxa from Helios came to join a couple meetings recently, and I figure he's probably very busy with Helios stuff and doing EOS stuff. But like, it's awesome when Waxa comes, or so many other examples of great people in the EOS community who we want to make people feel welcome. Like, if they're doing great work for EOS support or the ENF or something like that, then we want to make sure that's respected and encourage more people to come. And like, we want to give them a great experience. But at the same time, I see the point that CAC is making. Like, we want to also prioritize development specifically for the fractal as well, or I don't know if prioritize is the right word, because they're both priorities really, and I think that they should be priorities in parallel. And I think that one of the ways to do that, I mean, it works out itself naturally to a large extent, that we have these meetings where you can earn respect by helping Eden Fractal or EOS, and it's subjective depending on however people want to value it and what people think are most important, and everybody has their own opinion at each meeting. But I think also, in addition to just the weekly meetings, in addition to the weekly meetings, There's also a lot of other ways we can explore, like rewarding contributions for the Eden Fractal. So, like perhaps, like there is a bounty system, so to speak, where, like, say for example, D-Work is an application that the Fractally team uses. Like, we could potentially pass proposals once we have an interim consensus process to be like, we want the new UI interface or something like that. And then in that case, we could potentially, I think, mint new Eden tokens for people who do a specific job, or maybe even like objective measures, like, I don't know, get a tweet that has 1,000 likes, something like. We probably want to be more specific, and we probably want to use our powers of subjectivity and trust and so forth, because what gets measured gets gamed often, and so we don't want to just set like goals carelessly without thinking about people trying to game it. But like, these are options where we can think about these to incentivize different actions specifically for the Eden Fractal, and especially once we have the consensus process figured out. And I think that those are ways that we can incentivize work, and when we incentivize more helpful work and we incentivize it sooner, then that gives people more opportunities and abilities to contribute, in addition to the weekly meetings, and can help us get done a lot of the kind of more coordinated work necessary to also help grow Eden Fractal faster. So, wondering thoughts about that from CAC, if you find that agreeable and that makes sense, or Patrick, any thoughts about that as well?
I kind of heard part of that. I'm sorry, I was registering for the poker tournament. Can you summarize what you just said?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, poker tournament's coming up in like a half hour. Yeah, but basically, I was saying that I agree with what Patrick was saying, where we have to both encourage contributions to EOS and respect contributions to EOS, and also respect contributions to Eden Fractal specifically, because I think that it's a really good opportunity to help provide a lot of value for the EOS community and welcome people who don't have time to focus specifically on Eden Fractal much, but are doing great work. But at the same time, I see your point that we want to also foster more contributions to Eden Fractals specifically. And the process that we have right now already helps with that to a large extent and incentivizes great work for Eden Fractal and EOS, and it's subjective. But then at the same time, now that we have the interim consensus process, or when we do, then we could potentially have the ability to like mint new Eden tokens for different purposes. So if we want, a specific kind of thing to be built, or some sort of specific marketing job or development job or whatever, like, we can build that, or even empower like a team, as you were saying, like a marketing arm or something like that, and
Yeah,
say, this many tokens for this arm or something like that, perhaps.
Well, I guess that kind of makes sense, but it's going to potentially delay progress on the fractal itself to some extent. I would say it's like starting this fractal's a DAO. It's an organization. It's like a business. So like, if you start a business but you don't got everything fleshed out yet, like, then it's going to be more difficult to fulfill the goals or the mission of that business. That's my whole point. It's like, yeah, you could do things simultaneously, but I think building the structure in however way the community decides to structure it, and having this core functionalities and this fractal set up in a way where it will most empower people to want to join. I think that's important. I don't know. I'm just talking. So my whole thing is focus on building the fractal first, and then worry about the mission later.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for sharing your thoughts, CAC, and it's valuable perspectives. I mean, I think to some extent, like I think we talked about before, like, each person can share their opinion during the meetings, and the crowd, the wisdom of the crowd can prevail. So if everybody values contribution specifically to Eden Fractal over EOS, then that's how it'll go, or vice versa, that's how it'll go. And I see value in both ways. I think to some extent you can view, the EOS community as the customers of Eden Fractal. So we want to, give people great experiences. I don't know if customers is really the right word. And it's all, I don't know, it's all kind of a bit ephemeral, or like it doesn't fit in neat definitions, because it's not it's not really a business. Like one of the things I think that we need to do to comply with regulations and reduce liability for community members to make it so people can join without having to worry about government restrictions and stuff like that is to work as a UNA, an unincorporated nonprofit association. And then in that sense, it can't really be a profiting business. Like, I think that basically we have to create value with the Eden token, which is just our respect and our opinions. And then plus we might be able to also get additional funding from the ENF as like gifts to people who earn Eden token. But it can't really be a business that makes a profit in a typical sense, because I think that's basically closed off by regulations. This is all.
It depends on how it's structured. Well, my whole point in calling it like a startup or a business, the Eden Fractal, is because like I said before you started recording, is like these decentralized organizations. It's kind of a novel concept. I mean, people are trying to figure this stuff out all over the crypto space. I mean, as you know, there's been quite a few lawsuits against certain DAOs because people just don't know. The regulations are cloudy. You know, the governments aren't even caught up yet. So since this is like kind of like a new era of people working together and collaborating, it's like you gotta try to potentially, it might be beneficial to view it in existing frameworks. Like, look at it as a business, structure it in that way, tackle it from that perspective, and then over time try to decentralize whatever that means. You know, the community's got to decide. I hope that makes sense, because like just nobody knows how to view a DAO. I mean, unless you look at it as a business. I'm not saying, oh, it's for profit or whatever. I mean, sure, people want to make money, but that's not my personal goal right now, at least at this stage. Psych is just trying to figure this thing out. And I think looking at it in existing frameworks makes sense to help try to understand and how to organize it.
Absolutely. There are existing framework like IFA DAO that is very interesting. Now it's recognized by ENF. They are giving a grant for IFA DAO to be on EOS, not only on Telos. By the way, that Telos is also a EOS.io iteration or Antelope iteration. Now we speak about Antelope, the new branding. And there are interesting governance aspect into the IFA DAO that we could inspired for Eden. That could be inspiring for Eden Fractal. But all that is organization aspects, governance aspects. I think where we are now also is important to find our mission, what we are doing into this Eden Fractal. What could be this Eden Fractal? And I have some ideas on that I want to share with you. First, about the mission, I think I wouldn't say that it is the only one mission, because you can have one to many mission for this Eden Fractal, but one of them is to help the value content creator into EOS and beyond to turn their information into knowledge. And we are, by stating that, this mission, how we can turn this information into knowledge by doing a platform and a collaborative online platform where the people can join and find different subject matter, and they have the answer how to create an EOS account, for example, and we can answer to them, or we can direct them to EOS support, how to do a good marketing on EOS by doing tweets. We can direct them to EOS Bees, Swarms by Jesse Jaffe, and all the team of the Bees. That is very decentralized. For every question, we have the answer, and we are a collaborative online platform, and we have the tools. We have the mind mapping. with mindweb.io that I am building, for example. And we have also good governance tools and to push the consensus on chain with the Vlad tool that he has already built and that's very functioning. That's this React app, and that is pushing on chain, so on EOS, the mainnet. So we are using the EOS mainnet as a settlement layer, and all our tools are built on top of EOS. And about our organization, we try to be the most decentralized that we can. To be decentralized is not really the goal. The goal is to be the most distributed that we can. So by sharing our data, our knowledge, our information, and turn that into knowledge, we have to be very distributed. And for that, we use EOS, the mainnet, and we have fantastic dApp on top that distribute that very well. And in our organization, we have different skill sets of different people, different universe. So I think that's a paradigm shift. It's not a startup, conventional startup that we are creating. We are creating an innovative and collaborative startup. It's not just about innovation, it's also about collaboration, collaborate, adding value by collaborate. That's what we are doing since June. Now we are coming to a milestone into our road. It's October 23rd. We will have 4 months. We need to have some KPIs to reflect on. We need to have an interim consensus proposal, a framework when we can do good proposals, and let's voice the people into our group. So that's very important that everyone into this Eden Fractal can have a voice and raise his thought. It's not just about 1, 2, 3 people. And yes, we have to be focused. For sure, there are different focus. Now the focus is the interim consensus proposal, and go when this step is down, then we can move on. So that's the needed elements that we need to go forward. Otherwise, we are a little bit stuck for sure. And yes, that's my thought, and I share a lot of the thought of Chris. That's very. I understand well. We need to be also focus on our intern organization of this Eden Fractal, and we have a good format when we do the Wednesday 13 UTC. First, we have the breakout room, and after the breakout room, when we are into the main room, that's the place to discuss about our Eden Fractal, about the organization side of the things. And when we are into the first part, that's the time to let the people show what they have made, share with the group, and because we will maybe find other possible collaboration. Imagine that into Eden Fractal is coming someone totally new that we don't know, and he come with he's a developer, for example, and he come with something just value added for Eden Fractal. We will meet him into the breakout room, and just after, when we are into the main room, we can continue to discuss on that. So I would say there is no segregation between the breakout room and the main room. The main room should be the continuation of the breakout room, and share what was the experience in the breakout room to 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and when that is done, we continue to discuss about the subject of the Eden Fractal. So that's a new paradigm. That's a new mindset shifting. So we are just experiencing, as on the Genesis Fractal one. Shout out to them, and we are taking the fractal paradigm into our mindset. So very interesting Eden Fractal, and I enjoy everyone to see, well, to understand exactly what does it mean. you can only understand that when you are joining, experiencing, participating. So before it's just ideas. So Dan?
Yep, great points and well said. I've been enjoying listening, Patrick and CAC. Looks my headphone is dying. I hope you can still hear me. But yeah, I don't know if I have anything to add to this moment, but I agree. I think you guys made great points. And then also, the poker tournament is coming up in like 20 minutes, so we might want to wrap it up. We've been going for kind of a while, and we tend to do 5 or 6 hours town halls, so it's probably better to get in a trend of doing shorter town halls. Although I've appreciated the last week's, but yeah. Do you guys have more thoughts, CAC, or?
No, I don't know why I'm bringing this up now, but you had mentioned the unincorporated nonprofit, whatever organization, whatever the hell it's called, that the Fractally team talks about a lot. It's
A stands for association.
Yeah, it's I kind of looked into it. You know, Patrick has provided some resources, kind of convoluted, and you know, I guess many people aren't familiar with that structure. But I think one thing that I've been thinking about for weeks now is that makes a lot of sense to me. I got to flesh out the ideas a little more and exactly how you would propose this in a document, but just using a trust of some sort. I mean, you determining the grantor, the trustee, the beneficiaries, and how you draft that trust document in a way where it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to me in theory. In practice, I don't know how it would go over, with the regulatory bodies or whatever, but I think that's a simple way that we can organize this thing potentially. And if y'all want to discuss it at some further point, we can. I've been doing a little bit of research, and it seems like that might work, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, great. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm not sure if you were paying very much attention or involved with the Eden community back during, I guess, the end of last year, but trusts were a big topic that were discussed during the first term of chief delegates with Randall and Lovejoy and some others.
No, I'm not familiar with that, but as you can see, great minds think alike.
Right. Yeah. So I've taken a bunch of notes on trusts from back in the day, and I know that Lovejoy and Randall, I think specifically, looked into it a lot, as well as Chris and Jesse and John and Aaron and several other people. But it was a big discussion topic. There might be some clips that Chuck did from that are on the Eden on EOS channel about this, or if you just wanted to search back in the Eden members group or the Eden on EOS Telegram group for the word trust. I mean, trust is kind of difficult because it also has other implications, but there's a lot of information about it in the Eden community. And from what I remember, I'm not too knowledgeable about it either. I've done some research on it, not lately. And from what I understand, it seems like it could be a very helpful tool for Eden and for Eden Fractal. A very helpful legal framework that doesn't add much burden on people, but enables us to do more things. So yeah, it's something that people are looking into a lot for the Eden on EOS election system. And I'm glad you brought it up, and I'm interested to explore that more in the future. And if you have any other thoughts about it here, then I'd be happy to hear it as well.
I don't have any other thoughts that I want to be on record.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for bringing it up, and I'm looking forward to discussing it more in the future. And then if you wanted to take some time to write down any thoughts or anything like that, then I'd be happy to read it as well. I think trust can be very helpful, potentially.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So we have Patrick, CAC, or Lenny, or I don't know, Felix, I'm assuming that your microphone still isn't working, but does anybody have any other thoughts that they like to share or discussion topics, or do you think we should wrap up the Eden Town Hall earlier today?
I guess a few of you were going to the poker play that's coming up, so maybe you need a break. I have nothing further to add.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Lenny. Thanks
Thank
for
you, Lenny.
listening.
Yeah. Thank
and
you.
adding that point, and then all you do, of course, much appreciated. And then also our conversations before, and yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. So people will have 15 minutes or so to take a break before the poker tournament. That's awesome that EOS community is hosting the first poker tournament with the EOS Nation, as far as I'm aware, and big prizes for Pomelo and so forth. I see a message in the chat. Felix says, "Yeah, good combo, guys. Going to head off here soon as well." So yeah, thanks, Felix, for listening. And I hope that your road trip has been good. Hopefully you're doing well. And looking forward to speaking more with you soon on this Wednesday's Eden Fractal event and next week's town hall, and whenever we're available and able to talk. Patrick or CC, do you have any concluding remarks or any thoughts you want to share?
Yeah,
No.
I just want to say to the people listening to this Eden Town Hall. So you are all welcome on the Wednesday, 13 UTC, Eden Fractal. Have a look also on Twitter about Eden Fractal. The channel on Twitter, the account is Eden Fractal in one word. That's very easy to find. And there are some cool tweets that we have already shared until now about new funding for the Eden Fractal MSIG, so for the reward distribution. Cool song about Eden Fractal and Fractally song Respect, that is called like this. So that's a composition of my. I have taken that as an influence of Hugh Grant, that was singing this song into a movie. Don't Write Me Off, that was the name of the movie. And I have taken this song because that's very well aligned with what we are doing into Eden Fractal, Fractally, and also EOS independence. We want to be the most independent that we can. At the same time, we take in account what are doing the others. And exactly, we are 360. We are focused at the same time. It's a good pendulum. So join us because we are doing something great. We are here for the long term, not just for one day. We are not just heroes for one day. We are more than that. And you are all welcome. So I think we can say at 3210, go Eden on EOS. So 3210, go Eden on EOS.
Go Eden on EOS.
And at 3210, we say, go Eden Fractal. 3210, go Eden Fractal.
Go Eden Fractal.
And the last one, we say, go EOS, because it's the best blockchain into the blockchain sphere. It's a settlement layer. It's very fast. We have a good finality on the EOS mainnet. We will have fast the block time. That is 500 milliseconds. So for the finality, we will have something great with Antelope. And shout out to EOS Network Foundation for all the work that they have done with Antelope, the LEAP protocol 3.1. That's the protocol. And we have Zyzen Global also. We have .gems that are in with Martin Breuer and Jana Schiffer in Cologne, in Germany currently, on a booth, trying to do the best marketing for EOS. So 3210, we say, go EOS. So 3210, go EOS.
Go EOS.
And see you soon, guys.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for the sign off and the rallying words, Patrick. Much appreciated. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on the call, and thank you, everybody, for listening. And looking forward to the next Eden Town Hall event, and looking forward to the Eden Fractal event this week. There's also the Eden elections are coming up too in about 2 weeks too. So sign up before October 7th. Make sure to be able to participate in that. And yep, I'm looking forward to discussing and doing lots of awesome things with you all in the coming days and weeks and longer term future. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Go EOS.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Go EOS.
All right. See you all.